Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well, that this video finds you in good health. And we are going to move along, we're going to move on and continue with word stress. This will be sort of, in a sense, putting a few things together. We're going to consider what are known as stress imposing or strong endings, which we've already seen. And so this will involve, a more in-depth discussion of word stress. So if you remember, what we have already seen as far as what we call stress-imposing endings have been stress-imposing endings that assign stress on the final syllable. And we saw this within the scope of what we call, the Norman invasion with William the Conqueror in the 11th century. And we said that, yes, there's a lot of words in English that have come from French. And in French, it's natural to slightly stress the final syllable. So when those words from French, and an example of which was, of course, something like, facade, that word is une façade en français. So the facade has that papa, a one stress pattern. So what does that mean? That ADE ending, right? Dash ADE, right? That means it's what we call a stress imposing ending or a strong ending, meaning that it makes that stress fall somewhere. And the ones that we have seen, I think it is on page, I have it here, 28. The ones that we have seen before are those endings that make stress fall on the final syllable. Okay, so what we're going to see now is that there are other kinds of stress-imposing endings, right? They're the same type of ending insofar as that they make the stress fall somewhere, right? But instead of making the stress fall on the final syllable, like for example, odd, ADE, right? They make it fall on the syllable before the ending. They make the stress fall before the ending, on the syllable before the ending, if you want to be precise. And this is explained on page 18. And you can go to see this. So there's a whole list. This is another series. So you have to learn these endings, and you don't want to get them mixed up. You have to know which endings assign stress in the final and which endings assign stress before the ending. So here we can see, for example, one of the most well-known ones, probably the most emblematic of this type of ending that assigns stress on the syllable before the ending, right, will be what we call ick. When I say ick, I'm writing it I-C. So I'll write this. So we're looking at the end of the word. If you find a sort of an IC at the end of the word, and you will find this once again, it's the first one that is listed on page 18. You will see other examples of this, right? Or we can use the same examples that are given here. I can say, I'll just give you one. And notice this also has sort of a French feel to it, because a lot of this is sort of like an evolution of the French QUE type endings, but it doesn't involve the final syllable being stressed. It will be the syllable before the ending. So an example of this will be something like, en français on peut dire élastique, but that word in English, it will not be stressed on the final, it will be stressed on the one before the ending. So let's look at that. Before I say it, I'll give you the stress pattern. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah, you can see that word, élastique en anglais, which gives elastic. So hopefully you can hear you can see that O-1-O, right? And that O-1-O accent, right? That means that we say, once again, just doing the rhythmic part, right? If we sort of ignore the actual sounds themselves, we get ba-ba-ba, right? Elastic, right? So here we can see the ending is ick, right? To the very end, and it makes that primary stress, right? That one, which corresponds with the one that is over that syllable before the last one, it will make that syllable receive primary stress, which is why we have that we have at the end of the word, we have the ip, right? So So that is what this ik is doing. So the idea is that this doesn't only happen in elastic, right? This can happen in almost every word that ends in ik, right? So here we have and we can call that a rule. So we can say, oh, this ik stress imposing ending, right? And notice that it is what it is referred to on page 18, right? We're closely following the brochure, page 18. Here when we have ik, we can see that this happens with a lot of words. So I'm reading, and you can follow along with me on page 18. We have electric, right? Papa. We hear, once again, you can hear it at the end. We have lect is the syllable before the ending, right? Economic, right? Economic. And you can kind of pause and practice saying this yourself. It's a little bit artificial, but you might want to try it. Economic, right? Okay, so once again, that is the syllable before the ik, economic. Then we're going to have something like static, right? So 1-0. By the way, economic would be economic, would be 2-0-1-0. That would be the stress pattern. Ek, that ek would be secondary stress. K would be not stressed. Nam, primary stress. Ik, not stressed. 2-0-1-0. Economic, right? Okay, which means we would have a full value, which means we would have the ek would be the short value, the first syllable would be the short value for e. The o there in the second syllable, it is not stressed, right? It would be a schwa. Then nomic, that would once again be a short value, and then ik would be the reduced value for I, right? So we'll have economic 2-0-1-0. For that 2, we're going to have short value, kun, reduced value, schwa, nam, short value for o, and then ik, reduced value for I. So that once again, the 2 non-stressed syllables, k, ik, are going to be reduced, and then ek, nam, right? This is the first and the third syllables, right? Ek, nam, are going